Knicks Nation, today is Friday, the 31st day of May 2024. Happy Friday. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope your family's safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, out here saving lives every day. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who make profits from these things. And double curses on the perverts that create the demand for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, families, and veterans homeless in the United States of America. And millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. I want to, we're in the season, the BS season here, where people are putting up all kind of crap. And people love to fantasize about trade scenarios. It's par for the course in the NBA and in sports in general. Is what drives the betting. One of the things that drives the gambling industry is the fantasy. You see, so people want to fantasize about trades, about purchasing, about obtaining players that will never happen. But me, myself, and my channel, y'all should know, we're into winning. We want to see the Knicks win the championship. We're not trying to have our favorite player play because we just want to see him play, or have a trade because we want to make money off a gamble. We want to win. We want to win a championship. Now, with that in mind, we're more realistic in our projections. Tom Thibodeau is going to be extended, as I've been saying for the last 3 years, as the Knicks head coach. He's going to be extended, and it's not, again, as I've been saying, it's not that any player he needs to bend to the players. The players need to fit him and his system. The Knicks have been very successful over the last 4 years, coming from the basement and now knocking on the door of the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Knicks need to obtain players that fit Thibodeau. So let's talk about Thibodeau for a second. He does not play rookies. Many of y'all still don't get that. Somebody actually brought up Quickly and Grimes to me. Quickly and Grimes were drafted and were playing during a rebuild. Let me say that again. Quickly and Grimes were drafted and were playing for Thibodeau during a rebuild. Once you got Jalen Brunson, rebuild was over. Once you got Jalen Brunson, rebuild was over. And once you go to OG Anunoby, it's championship time. So no, he's not going to play any rookie. And especially in this weak-ass draft class, which is what we have. A very weak draft class. Okay? Now, there's going to be pro players in this draft class, but not as many as in other years. And most of the talent, in my view, is at the bottom of the draft, where the Knicks are picking. So any player, again, I wanted to make sure y'all get it, because a lot of y'all still, because the fantasy world is so strong that people can't focus on what's really here, where we're really at. The Knicks are on the verge of Eastern Conference Finals and championship contention right now. We do not want to change our roster. We want to plan for 2 years from now. Not 2024-25. We said. Okay? We said. And just to scratch the itch of some of y'all that can't help yourself, yes, Mikal Bridges is the only exception to that rule. Other than that, we're trying to keep our roster. Okay? We're trying to keep our roster. I mentioned Caruso. Some of y'all done went crazy off of that. He's just will be a bench piece, but we don't need him. We can continue to grow with Precious or Bodega, whichever one they decide to keep. Okay? But the core is already here. We just need them to get healthy, which, as we're monitoring this now, everybody's on the road to recovery. From Mitchell Robinson to Julius Randle to OG Anunoby to Jalen Brunson, everybody's on the road to recovery. So we just need that to continue and then start again next September. Now, last year, September, you had R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley in the rotation. Mitchell Robinson was your starting at the 5 spot. You had Jalen Brunson. You had Grimes. You had Juju. And the Knicks started off the way they usually do. They usually start slow. All Thibs teams do. And they start picking up steam as you get to the midpoint in the second half of the season. That's common with Thibs. That's common. This September will be different because you're walking into camp with Hartenstein as your starter and Mitchell Robinson coming off your bench. And I've mentioned this, and today's video is focused on the 5 spot because I've said all that to say Thibs schemes rely on a rim protector. No, we don't need a walk-in bucket at the 5. No, we don't need a stretch 5. We need a rim protector. If they could do other things, great, but we need them to protect the rim. And they need to be able to move quickly to get double teams and get back to protecting the rim. They need to be strong rebounders, especially offensive rebounders. And this is what drives Thibs' defensive scheme. Thibs is a defensive coach. Everything starts on the defensive end. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind as we're going into the summer. Now, some of y'all are just hooked on NBA 2K land and fantasy world, so you're going to continue to fantasize, do what you do. But I'm talking about those of us that understand where I'm coming from. We're trying to win a chip right now. Okay? With fantasies, no. We're trying to win a championship. So that is how you begin building with Thibs. Defense, and then the anchor of the defense. And you spread out from there to you're defending the 3-point line and you're defending the paint from the perimeter. Okay. So now we already got 2 guys that will do that on an exemplary level. And together, Hartenstein and Mitch Rob, together 44 and 26 this past season. And Mitch had a terrible season for many reasons. I'm still pro Mitch, and I ain't going to veer from that. Mitch is one of the guys to me. He's going to be fam. Anybody talking negative about Mitch, you've probably already experienced. You get cut off of my channel. We're not dealing with that. Mitch Rob, though, had a terrible year this past season. The ankle injury messed him up. The trade actually confused him a bit because he was playing very well with Quickley and Barrett. So now you're going to go into camp. Mitch Rob's going to be in the second unit. It's going to be Mitch Rob, Deuce, and Hart man in that second unit. And again, you can add either Precious or Bodega. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but we'll figure that out this summer. But that's going to be your bench. It's a 9-man rotation. Thibs never plays 10. Again, let's leave fantasy word alone. You go back over his 20 years of coaching. He's a 9-man rotation guy. And as we get closer to the playoffs, he might even go 8, depending on injuries, 7. But he's a 9-man rotation guy. Okay? So, and that's majority of NBA, actually. So, with that in mind, you got your 9. Okay? So, starting off again with the 5 spot. So, now, this also lets you know, let me just be clear here, because some of y'all still don't get it. The Knicks will re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. And he will be the starter. And yes, they can afford to keep him and Mitchell Robinson. So can we get that I keep getting this question over and over again. Some of y'all don't get the memo. They're going to have both of them. They're going to re-sign Hartenstein. They're going to have the 2-headed monster at the 5. Starting with Hartenstein and then coming off the bench with Mitch Rob, Josh, and Deuce. And then again, like I said, it could be either Precious or Bodega. It won't be for both of them. But the Knicks will make that decision in the next few weeks. So anybody that they're talking about getting is for 2 years from now. Okay? They might get a Khalil Ware. That would mean Jericho would be out. Okay? That would mean Jericho will be out because you'll be training Khalil Ware. You'll be developing Khalil Ware. He's going to get garbage minutes. He's going to get, foul trouble from other guys or injury from guys type minutes. He's a rookie. He's going to have a lot to learn. You might get a Khalil Ware. Or you might get, some of y'all love Edie. They get Edie, same thing. He's not going to be in the rotation. Some of y'all get that fantasy out your head. He's not going to be in the rotation. He'll be end of the bench guy learning. And practice will be his games. That's how anybody like that. Then, of course, there's Deron Holmes we talked about. Same thing. Okay? So that's how we'll be going forward. They do not need a point guard. Some of y'all, again, fantasizing. I had some guy talk about, well, we're tweeners. Like, the Knicks, and the implication is we don't play rebounds or defense. So the Knicks were only top 10 in defense in the NBA. Led the NBA in offensive rebounding. Okay? 4th or 5th in the NBA in point differential, one of Thibs' key stats. And we still talking about tweeners and too short and we need length. Some of y'all need to get off fantasy world and look at what's real. The Knicks are set there. We good. And then when Juju come back with Mitch Rob, we really good. Okay? We don't need to worry about that crap. Okay? We good. So, Mitchell Robinson will be your second stringer. Hartenstein will be your starter. They will afford both of them. OG will be back. All the crap aside, all the fantasy aside, he's going to sign back with the Knicks. Why? Because he can win a chip with the Knicks. He's going to get his money anywhere he go. Nobody's giving him $200 million. Nobody. The Don's going to pay him a fair number, somewhere in the 140 range. He's going to get his money. He can win a chip. He's in an organization that appreciates and loves him, even though he's in the Anthony school. And that's why he's coming back to New York. So we're not worried about OG Anunoby. Some of y'all need something to worry about. Some of y'all want to fantasize about other crap. Go ahead and do that. But we know we're not doing that. Juju is not going anywhere. So your starting lineup, Julius Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein, OG Anunoby, Dante DiVincenzo, and of course, Jalen Brunson. So that's what we got. And they're daggone good. And then the bench is going to be hellified as well. So we know what we got. All we want is for these guys to come into camp healthy, which it looks at this point, here we are going into late May, going into early June. It looks pretty good for them. So they're looking like they're going to be ready. Draft-wise, yes, we're looking at the future for the draft. This is where you start looking at the future. So I don't know if it's going to be Ryan Dunn. I don't know if it's going to be, Keyshawn George. We talked about, a couple of those guys. I'm not sure which one of these kids are going to be. It's probably going to be a first rounder and a second rounder. A lot of these, in fact, all of these fantasy drafts have the Knicks making 2 first-round picks. I don't see that happening, but definitely 1 first rounder, probably a second rounder, and then some undrafted free agents they'll get to see where we at. But that's what we're talking about now. We're not talking about, drafting 2 rookies for them to be in a rotation. No, that's not going to happen. Okay? There ain't going to be no rookie in the rotation. Ain't going to be no rookie in the rotation. All right? So, I just wanted to get that out there, get this straight. But with Hartenstein and Mitch Rob, man, in the 5 spot, you got, and then, of course, you got the perimeter defense with Deuce, DiVincenzo, Hart. We're going to be daggone good going into 24-25. And so, we're dealing with future. But for now, the Knicks are set. Please don't come on my channel with all this fantasy stuff. What about this trade and this 3-team trade and this? Stop it, okay? Let's focus. We good. Y'all enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks, Western Conference champions, playing against Boston Celtics, Eastern Conference champions. I'm rooting for Dallas because can't stand Boston. Y'all enjoy your weekend. So.